Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Sunday Messages. And today is a PTA episode, and the prayer request and the advice column that I'm going to be going over today actually are from the same person regarding the same issue. So I'm just going to package those together, then we'll pull a few cards and be on our merry way. So first thing, let's go ahead and start with the prayer, as always. I'm in full agreement for you to experience relief, stability, and support in being taken care of when it comes to your health anxiety. So I'm in full agreement for you to receive everything that you need, whether that be information, tools, resources, whatever that looks like for you at this point in your journey. I'm in full agreement for you to line up with those. And I'll do my best to give you some tools in the advice column portion. One more thing, I'm in full agreement for your overall sense of well-being and for you to be in full vitality, full health, full well-being, full agreement. Okay, so let me read the advice column to you and then we'll go into this. I struggle with health anxiety. Sometimes I feel like I can't breathe and my heart beats so fast that I think it'll stop. I would love support and guidance and prayer for this issue I've been dealing with. I know I'm okay and that it's just a way for me to connect more with my body. I ask that you pray for the anxiety to subside so I can live more peacefully. Thank you so much. Okay, so the first thing that I would like to offer here is go listen to the health anxiety podcast episode that I did, because I did a whole episode dedicated to health anxiety because that's something that I personally have dealt with for years and years and years. And I'm also not surprised that I'm receiving this advice column right now and this prayer request right now because I just went through like a really intense wave of health anxiety last week. Of course, because we are talking about anxiety, we can't talk about anxiety and not include the nervous system in the discussion. So how I personally view my health anxiety is it's a signal that my nervous system is activated. So the trick to dealing with health anxiety is you first want to understand what the health anxiety is actually communicating or expressing to you. Because it's a sensation and your brain is trying to find a thought that makes sense, that lines up with the sensation that you're having. And for those of us who experience health anxiety, a lot of the time, the closest thought form available is, maybe I'm dying. One thing that I think you will find helpful in practice is if you can get away from taking the specific thought or idea seriously and instead reimagining and reinterpreting the anxiety. The anxiety is there, it doesn't know what else to do, so it's finding a compatible thought, which happens to be related to death or disease, or it's going to be showing up in a lot of different ways for different people. I wouldn't call it a recent discovery that I've had with my health anxiety, but something that has become clearer and clearer over time is that my health anxiety doesn't actually have anything to do with a fear of death for myself. I don't fear death at all. I'm sure if you've heard me talk long enough, you understand why. But it's actually a fear of rejection. So my anxiety is trying to guard me from rejection. That's the function of the anxiety. It's a protection mechanism. So when you're able to actually see or figure out for yourself how the anxiety is functioning for you and the purpose that it serves and what it's doing that makes sense, because no matter how you slice it, the anxiety is logical and makes sense as a function of the mind. Is it disruptive? Is it irrational? Is it a whole bunch of other things? Yes, but when you're just looking at the mechanics, see if you can make the health anxiety make sense for you. And when you're able to get a clearer bird's eye view picture, that can help to neutralize it and not make it so intense and so serious. The next piece, which you alluded to in your message, as far as connecting deeper with your body, but I would take it a step further and say there's a specific call for your attention and loving that particular, like whether it be your cardiovascular system, your lungs, your breath, like there is a call to reconnect with that particular part of your body. One thing that I'll mention here, I'm just going to throw this out. I don't know if it's really going to resonate with you, but sometimes this is really helpful for me. When there's a particular area of my body that is requiring more love, more attention, or there's some point of fixation on that part of my body, I will actually look up the emotions that are related to that part of my body in Chinese medicine. So in traditional Chinese medicine, different organs and symptoms and medical issues are related to emotions. And so sometimes I'll find a really strong connection between an emotional state that I'm experiencing or something that's been going on and that particular organ or that particular issue or that imbalance. If you've ever done acupuncture or anything like that, it's all about imbalances within your energetic system. It might give you some support or clarity or understanding on a deeper level if you look into that. That's something, if you're curious about it, if you feel like it might be helpful, do it. If you feel like it'll freak you out, it'll trigger you, then don't. Just use discernment, decide for yourself. But the point that I'm getting at is creating intimacy with the part of yourself that you might be scared of is part of the healing process. At least that's been part of my healing process. The more connected, the more I understand my body, the more I'm communicating with my body, the more I'm listening to it, really listening to it. Not my anxiety, but genuinely listening to my body, the safer I feel in inhabiting my body. So for you, in terms of heart, in terms of breath, maybe that is being more intentional with breath work, actually bringing consciousness to it, bringing love into the picture. Maybe that would just be putting your hand on your heart and holding your heart and just breathing into it and loving it, but doing it intentionally, like bringing the consciousness and the love and the adoration to your own body and see what happens. And you're just going to have to feel out. Does this amplify the anxiety? Does this reduce the anxiety? Am I feeling a stronger connection? And really just play with it and try to figure out what works for you. I am absolutely certain that with time and practice and consistency, yes, you will reduce it greatly. And then you'll get to the point where if you do have health anxiety in the future, it'll be a signal for other things that need your attention, but it's not an indication that you're actually going to stop breathing or your heart is actually going to stop. That's not what it means. Your brain interpreting that is just a misunderstanding. It's a misunderstanding of the sensation. It's a misunderstanding of the anxiety that's present. And so your job is to reinterpret what's really going on here. Okay, let's go ahead and pull some cards. See what's going on for the week. Ooh, we have the Fool. So something fresh, something new. There's a new start, a new beginning. And then we have the Sun. This looks like a really fun and refreshing week so far. And then we also have the Four of Swords. So I'm getting that this is a lot of replenishment, right? Between the Fool, the Sun, and the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords isn't so much a weight as it is an indication of leaning back, relaxing, resting, filling your cup, and actually doing things that are genuinely replenishing rather than requiring more energy, more exertion, more output of energy. This is all about keeping yourself nice and full, enjoying yourself, having fun, having a good time. There are 2 more pieces that are coming through here. The first thing is that there's like an initiation of some sort or a reconnection of some sort that's happening. It's like a fresh start. That's what I was talking about with the Fool. But it looks like this is regarding something that has already been in the oven. So the interesting thing about this isn't a surprise. It's not out of the blue. This is something that you've actually been focused on in some regard, because the Sun card has these 2 people looking at each other. And when I'm seeing that, it's like you see this coming. You already know that this is something that is inevitably going to reveal itself because it's been in the oven. So your only job is to lean back and receive it. That's really what this week is about. Now, whether or not it comes to life this week or not is beside the point. This is the energy that you want to hold in order to receive it faster. All I can really say here is enjoy. Prepare yourself, lean back, keep your cup full, enjoy living your life, right? See how long you can sustain excitement, anticipation, like positive, affirmative anticipation, pleasure, fun, how long you can sustain that feeling state and see what happens. This is just going to be a really lighthearted week. So embrace it, enjoy it, have a good time, chill out. And I think that will actually generate more movement than you've been experiencing in the past. So if you feel like things have been really stalled out, this is the time to just get out there, go have fun, enjoy yourself, and live your life. That's kind of the push that this week is giving you. And then you're going to start to see more movement on the heels of that. So that is what I have for you today. Once again, just a reminder, if you want to watch Fabric of the Universe, the replays are available on YouTube, so I definitely recommend going and checking those out. The link will be in the description box or the show notes. The other thing that is time sensitive right now is Apex applications are open. We start Apex on May 1st. This is my most intensive program. It's 2 months with me. And that mastermind is all about accessing peak performance within yourself. So I describe this as the Olympian level training for your spiritual world, your emotional world, and your mental world. I just did a whole podcast episode explaining my personal experience with Apex, as well as, what the effects of it are, what happened for me, what I noticed, what I reclaimed during that time. And I also break down all of the nitty-gritty details, answered all of the questions that have been asked about it so far. And so I recommend that you go listen to that episode if you're interested in that. If you feel the call to really have a major reset button in your life, this is a fantastic way to do it. So go check that out, apply. There's limited seats. I already have people who are in, so if you want to get in, this is the time to do it. And that is a wrap for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will talk to you next time. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.